My name's Duddy, set up builds and stuff. Today I want to show you how strong Void Titans are, especially in this week's GM. We're going to be taking a look at controlled demolition to get heals via the volatile explosions. Volatile explosions everywhere, healing everywhere, and it's a really solid support build for you and your teammates. We're also going to be taking a look at Deterministic Chaos with the heavy metal perk, where we can keep ourselves alive with this weapon, purely just this weapon alone, where the volatile explosions will heal you and it weakens and does some nice damage in this GM. And we've also got a bit of a relic, a bit of an old sword that is really good for this week's GM as well. We're going to be featuring volatile explosions, devour, overshields, healing and controlled demolition, so stay with me, I'm going to break it all down. The whole build is based around controlled demolition. Hitting a target with avoidability or volatile explosion makes them volatile. Further damage to a volatile target causes them to explode, and it grants you and nearby allies health when volatile targets explode near you. Now if you pair that up with some weapons like destabilizing rounds weapons, final blows cause targets to become volatile. Deterministic Chaos works particularly well with this one, which is going to be a bit of a focus of this build. It's strong against anti-barrier champions as well, and it's got heavy metal, so while holding down the trigger, every fourth bullet makes a heavy projectile, and it also makes them volatile and weakens. Now pair that with the controlled demolition and you've literally just got free healing. Watch my health at the top, just watch my health bar, that is just purely the volatile explosions healing me. So this is perfect with controlled demolition, and it's super consistent all of the time. Really good for you and your teammates. So I just want to clarify that it's really good for your teammates. As long as you keep getting these explosions, you're going to heal you and your team. Now if we add in some void fragments, echo, starvation, picking up a void breach or an orb of power will grant you devour, so you're going to have devour yourself and healing for you and your teammates. Echo of harvest, defeating weakened targets creates an orb of power and a void breach. Weakening targets is pretty easy with echo of undermining. Your void grenades weaken targets, so you're always going to have devour going on with each set of fragments. And then lastly, the one that works really nicely with this one is echo persistence, to make your buffs, specifically overshield and devour, have a longer duration. So when you don't have your devour up, you're going to be able to keep yourself healed with the volatile explosions, whether it's from the deterministic chaos or your destabilizing rounds. And then you're going to be able to have infinite devour, because you'll see in that bottom left I've got my devour for myself and healing for your teammates via the controlled demolition. Now the other aspect is Bastion. Whenever you cast your barricade, it grants an overshield to yourself and nearby allies, and it empowers it, enabling it to slowly regenerate the overshield. Allies bunkering behind it also gain an overshield, so you're going to be able to give your teammates and yourself a nice overshield on top of the explosions from the volatile and controlled demolition to give them healing. And then on top of that, you're going to have devour yourself, destabilizing rounds, volatile explosions everywhere, whether you hit them with an ability or use destabilizing rounds, devour for yourself and healing for your teammates via the explosions. An all-round solid support build. Now you could go with Aeon Swift, but I went with Second Chance because these are just absolutely brilliant. You gain a second charge for your shield throw melee. Your shield throw melee weakens targets and becomes shield piercing, stunning anti-barrier champions. Pair that with your shield throw and you're going to get weakening as well as the echo of undermining, and it breaks barrier shields. Makes them volatile with the controlled demolition, which is just absolutely perfect for this particular setup. Being able to break an anti-barrier shield with one throw, it will regen it as well, and it weakens them and applies volatile, which is then going to drop you an orb breach because it's weakened, and it will also heal you and your teammates from the volatile explosions. Echo of harvest, echo of starvation, these two really pair with this one again, like I know I've mentioned it, but defeating weaker targets creates an orb of power and a void breach. Picking up an orb or a void breach will grant you devour. Add the echo of undermining, you got weakening with your grenade, weakening with your shield throw. This little combination pretty much gives you devour infinitely all of the time. So that's basically how the build works. Now just for situations like this where you need to get through with a situation, drop a barricade down. That's going to give your teammates a void overshield. Quite a few times I've seen people die getting through to that bit, but that void overshield will aid that cause. If you need to kill a barrier champion at a long distance, get that barrier down, protect you, protect your teammates, and you're going to apply That Volatile again, which will heal you and your teammates, and apply weakening with the Deterministic Chaos. So it's just an all-round solid little setup, and it actually does really good damage in this GM because it is overcharged machine gun. So Deterministic Chaos is quite a good option because, like I said, as long as you can just keep firing, you're going to heal you and your teammates. Apply weakening, and it's anti-barrier, and it actually does quite a lot of damage. So it's an all-round good little option. I have got other weapons to show you as well, but I just want to focus on the Deterministic Chaos a little bit. And on top of everything else that you've seen, we've got a seasonal artifact pair. It's called Void Hegemony and Expanding Abyss. While you have a Void Prismatic subclass equipped, or a Prismatic subclass equipped, you're going to get an overshield by killing weakened targets, and Expanding Abyss make all your Void sources do increase damage against Void weakened targets. Destabilizing rounds, weapons, something like Word of Crota. There's literally loads of these weapons. It's just one I picked out and it works pretty well without even having Devour going in this clip here. No Devour, and I'm still being able to keep myself nice and healed and my teammates because of all the volatile explosions going on from that controlled demolition. Going to be healing me, healing my teammates, and I've also got my barricade down to provide an overshield. So without actually having Devour, you are very, very tanky and you're helping your teammates out big time. And don't forget, you will be creating them Void Breaches as well to pick up for Devour, which is just an added bonus. And then on top of that, the Twilight Arsenal Super is also really good in this week's GM because the amount of Void Shields, and it recently got buffed, it can easily deal with a Unstoppable or a Barrier Champion. And then you've got your Shield Thrower for weakening and instant barrier breaks. So it's just an all-round solid build, and I've absolutely loved running this. You've got that Deterministic Chaos as a backup. If you ever need to, you can just pull that out, and that will just cause infinite volatile explosions left, right, and centre. Therefore, giving you healing on the spot, plus your teammates as well. So it's an all-round solid little setup. Deterministic Chaos of destabilising round weapons is basically that just equals free health regen for you and your team. I've absolutely loved running this the last couple of days. There's no void burn in this GM, which really complements how good this machine gun actually feels in here with it being overcharged machine gun. Just really, really good. It's really good for single target DPS as well. And then just one more clip before I get onto some other weapons. If you don't want to run Deterministic Chaos, the Twilight Arsenal again, you just absolutely deletes things in this GM. It feels really, really nice. Now, a couple of other weapons I want to show you. Now, a really obvious one is Buried Bloodline. This is a Void Sidearm. It's going to grant you Devour, and then whenever you've got Devour active, which you do have active all of the time on this build, you're going to be able to weaken with this as well. So Buried Bloodline is just like one that's just like a really, really obvious one. If you don't want to run Deterministic Chaos, just being able to like keep things weakened all the time, create infinite amounts of Void Breach, and just proc Devour if you don't have your Devour active. Now, the other one is really, really good. It's an old sword, a pinnacle sword called Chivalric Fire. This is a caster frame. This feels absolutely brilliant with this build because it's got Repulsor Brace on there. Defeating the Void debuff targets, grants you an overshield, as well as everything else you've got going on. And it's also got destabilizing rounds on there, so volatile explosions on final blows, and it's also got Vanguard's Vindication as an origin trait. This just surprised me. I was just looking, I just thought I'll just give it a little try, and it just feels absolutely brilliant here. You can easily clear all of these little dweeby enemies. All these spawn up with big void shields, so you just got like massive explosions everywhere, and you are very, very tanky with this as well. Really, really good. If you just block, you can block quite a lot of damage with that, and you've got that overshield to keep you nice and tanky as well. So that is pretty much getting towards the end of the build. I'm going to show you now some like main focusing on some of the key mods, but then I'll leave a build card as well in case I miss anything out. A couple of key mods I like to run is Grenade Kickstart, because for my Suppressor Grenade, which I run mainly, I wanted to sort of keep that active as much as possible. So Grenade Kickstart will give you big chunks of that back. Font of Vigor is another one that gives you plus 50 strength, just one of them, so that's really good for your shield thrower as long as you've got an Orb of Power on you. So whenever you've got an Orb of Power, you're going to have plus 50 strength. Now, Stacks on Stacks works really nicely with Grenade Kickstart. The more orbs you have, the more armor charges and the more grenade energy you get back. Innovation reduces grenade cooldown each time you pick up an Orb of Power. And then I just run a Void Scavenger. Like I said, I didn't want to focus on every single mod because it would take another 5 minutes. But here's a build card. main fragments are covered, the main mods. And if you missed anything, check that build card out, and I'll also leave a dim link in the video's description. So thanks to my friend over on Twitter for that build card, Mr. Slayer God. I hope you found this video helpful. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.